Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Alright folks, everyone should be well aware of the fact that we of course have the new weapon system for our commanders and how all of that works, but I wanted to take a second to talk about an aspect of it that, I'll be honest, I only recently noticed, and I wanted to share it with all of you. So obviously when we're talking about the ancient weapons, we can see that some of them have a little infantry symbol, some have a spear symbol, some have a cavalry symbol, and that of course corresponds to which stats they actually give us for. So if we look at Chris's weapon Oath, it gives infantry attack. If we look at Jamie's Oathkeeper, it gives spear attack. And if we look at Rob's Snowwolf, it gives cavalry attack. This shouldn't be anything crazy. I think most people generally understand this. The random attributes that it gives are, based on that. But here's what's kind of interesting. If we look at Soren's weapon, the Heartseeker, this one, the base attribute says collection bonus. The random attribute says collection bonus. That is because with his weapon, it is not about actually using it, but merely having it unlocks this ability. So as you can see, I have cavalry attack here, even though you might be thinking this isn't necessarily a cavalry weapon, but I've managed to find a cavalry attack when I reforged with it, which is a little bit odd. You'll also be thinking, only 3.6% at almost full ancient. Compare that to something like this, where at just 10% it's purple. It's much higher though than, again, 3.6%. So the reason for that discrepancy is that these stats only get applied if using that commander and that weapon, whereas Soren's are going to be universally given. Now, my assumption is that this second one doesn't give those stats. I think it's only the one that is actually equipped that's going to count, but even the base stats, the resource gathering speed and the research speed, those are just universally given, and Soren's weapon isn't the only one like this. Now, as you all might be aware, if I go to the bowman, you'll notice that Soren doesn't show up here. These are the ones that actually give bow attack and bow stats. I have to go to the others category, and then I can find Soren's weapon, as well as Raymond's weapon, and Sheila's weapon. Those are the only three so far that I have found that actually give these stats the way I'm talking about. All the rest of these give total attack. That, of course, is its own category and is going to give its own various buffs. But Raymond, Soren, and Sheila all give their own unlocking upon accessing it that is different from the others. So as you can see, even this ability applies immediately when it's owned. That's because that's the nature of Sheila's 4-star ability. Same with Soren's, same with Raymond's. So any commander that has a, imply immediately when owned general 4-star awakening ability, their weapon is going to tend to be that way as well, is what we've seen so far. This means that you automatically get those stats, and if you look at someone like Raymond, that means total defense stats. You will be immediately getting some serious total defense stats, which is pretty cool, and I mean, that's, if you get it up high, that's going to be pretty valuable. Again, the Sheila weapon is basically exactly the same as Soren's weapon, and this does give you a lot of options when you're re-rolling them for what you're going to get. Of course, if I go to this, you can see all the different sorting by re-roll, and you can see just how long this list is, that it gives all of the different types of attack and defense. There are no health stats for it. I think that's kind of what you separate, and then you just have health reduction, so that's why it's a little bit different. But just important to notice that it is going to be stats that you permanently get upon unlocking it. So I hope this was helpful to you all and tells you a thing or two about some of the newer weapons and how they interact. I definitely didn't realize this when it first came out, and I think it's worth re-rolling to get some good stats that you really want. But until next time, my name is TyrionLanstr, and I'll see you then.